happy Good Friday. When we scheduled this, we didn't realize that it's going to be Good Friday. I'm so happy that Dr. Farah could make it, and she's here with us. And she's actually medical doctor and functional and integrative medicine expert. We're going to talk about preventive approach to optimal health.
Yes.
And definitely we're going to have a really great time together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Panteo, for having me. Super excited to be here with all of you.
Yeah, me too. All right, Farah. First of all, welcome. I'm so excited to
Thank
have
you.
you. And I know that you have a lot of great talk for us. Tell me about yourself first. How did you end up to be a functional and integrative medicine as well, apart from what you practice in your medical field?
Yes, thank you. And I'd love to share my story with my own health journey, which is what brought me into functional and integrative medicine. So when I had my first baby, it was kind of the labor out of hell. And my doctor broke my waters too soon. And it prolonged my labor for hours and hours. And then I ended up in an emergency C-section. And those were some really, really scary moments because everything was crashing, my blood pressure, my oxygen, my baby's heart rate. And we ended up in surgery. And I thought maybe I wouldn't make it, my baby wouldn't make it, but luckily we did. And he did end up in the neonatal intensive care unit and on IV antibiotics. I was on IV antibiotics. And then I brought my baby home, full of joy, and found that my body was not functioning normally. Every morning I would have an upset tummy. My belly would be hurting. And then I noticed my hair started falling. And instead of losing weight, I was gaining weight. And I couldn't understand why I was so tired, why I was crying all the time. And so I went to my doctor. And she just blew me off. She's like, "Oh, sugar, it's normal." This was in Houston, Texas. And she said, "This is the way it's going to be. You're just a tired, stressed out resident." But I knew that something wasn't right with my body. And years later, through my quest to find out, because I didn't want to take medicine, and I had gone into becoming a medical doctor to help others. And here I was, not able to help my own self. And finally, I found functional medicine and found that my own thyroid was being attacked by my own immune system. I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I had IBS. I had grown up in India. I had been exposed to parasites, taken multiple courses of antibiotics for strep throat. And over time, I realized later that this was related to my gut health and my gut issues and inflammation and autoimmune issues. But through lifestyle changes, avoiding inflammatory foods, I was totally able to heal my body. And today I'm 50 and I feel better than when I was in my 20s. So that's why it transformed my life. And I know if I could do it, I can help others transform their lives. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping others get their health and wellness back.
You don't look like 50.
That's the other thing. I ask my patients, why do you want to do this program with me? And they say, because I don't want to grow old and take medications. I don't want to be dependent on my kids. And I say, that's exactly how I feel. When I'm even in my 80s, I want to be able to play tennis. I want to be able to travel and hike and play with my kids and grandbabies and all of that.
Yeah, actually, Farah, this is so interesting because these days looks like I'm just interviewing functional medicine practitioners, and most of them are medical doctors. And when I was struggling with fertility issue, I had the same problem,
Mm-hmm.
and medical doctors didn't. I mean, in some point, they couldn't help me more. And they said, you are diagnosed with unexplained infertility, and that's it.
Wow.
So I knew that IVF doesn't help me anymore
Mm-hmm.
after so much expense and paying to them. I just realized that I should find another way
Mm-hmm.
to recover from I mean, I should find first the root cause of the problem, right? And as you said, is not only fertility. You may have other underlying issues, as
Mm-hmm.
you've been there with gut issue and other things. So how this functional medicine can help women with postmortem, as you had the same issue? How do you know? How can you help them?
Right. So the main way that I believe that we can help women rediscover their health is to really go back to root causes. So every point in our life adds up to what is going on in our body right now. And everything in our body is so intricately connected together, like pieces of a musical instrument, like an orchestra playing together. So, for example, if you were born by C-section versus a vaginal delivery, that can affect things like your microbiome. So we look in depth at your history. If there's history of trauma and abuse or drugs and antibiotics and steroids, birth control pills, acid reduction pills, all these over time, of course, the standard American diet, the SAD diet, all these things, and of course, stress, the big elephant in the room, can all add up over time to what's going on right now. So really looking at your timeline, really looking at your history, because you as a person are unique. There is no other you in this entire universe when it comes to your genes, your immune system, your environment, your relationships, your stressors. So we have to look at you as an individual. And I do believe in the power of data and testing. So when you do the proper testing, you know what the root causes are, and then you can fix them, but in a holistic manner, using lifestyle and food as medicine, and stress management, sleep, movement, meditation, all these things put together to get back your health. And balancing hormones can be a huge part too. But again, this can be done naturally as well.
So we go for a break for a few seconds, and we come back and talk more about preventive approach to optimal health.
Awesome.
Please subscribe to Panta Calhor Transition channel and order my book Naturally Conceived through Amazon. Thank you for watching. All right, Farah. Tell me about preventive approach to optimal health. I know you already talked about diet and inflammatory diet. Actually, we have to prevent. But what else we can do to keep ourselves healthy?
So other than diet, I use these 5 pillars of health approach, and that involves, the first one is diet, second one is gut health and detoxification. So what do I mean by detox? It means helping your gut absorb your nutrients better, heal and seal the junctions together. So how can you do this? So some of the things that can help are ancient foods and nutrition like bone broth and eating plant-based fruits and vegetables. Sometimes it can involve taking some protein shakes and supplements, but not for a long time and not as a meal replacement, but for a short time, to just give your body the gentle, loving support that it needs. Normally, your body is great at doing this, but you're just providing some extra loving care and support to your gut, your liver, your kidney, all your organs of support. One of the most important pillars is stress management and mind body balance, because we are so much on the go all the time. We never stop and slow down to rest and digest and to sleep well, to cultivate relationships. We are isolated, we are lonely, we are depressed and anxious, and then we are maybe binge watching Netflix at night, so we're not sleeping at night. And then there's work worries, there's family and relationship worries. So all this escalates the impact of cortisol, the stress hormone, on our overall health. So we can do so many things for stress management, just getting out in nature, getting out in sunshine, and making sure we're keeping our room dark at night, not going on our devices so we can sleep well at night. So there are many things we can do to manage our stress without, again, taking medications. And then when I say balancing hormones, it's not just your sex hormones like your female and male hormones, but it is your thyroid, your insulin, your cortisol, your hunger and satiety hormones like leptin and ghrelin, and then all your neurotransmitters like your natural melatonin. 200 times more comes from your gut, and then it goes in the brain where it gets the support of the hormones. So when the hormones are off and your periods are off, when you're in peri or postmenopause, you know that it's going to impact your overall health as well. And then, of course, the movement and exercise. You don't have to go to a gym, but just moving every day is something your body loves you for.
Yeah, beautiful. So I'm curious about your practice as a functional medicine. What what is the difference between the moment you start as a functional medicine
Mm-hmm.
and those days that you already just done some medical uh,
Yeah.
practice?
Yeah, it's a huge difference. First of all, the time that I can now spend with my patients is much longer. I spend at least an hour to really dive deep into each one as an individual to help them transform their health. Earlier, I was spending only 10, 15 minutes and then next and next and next. And there's just not enough time then to really sit down and understand what this person in front of you is going through and how you can help them. And the other difference is that instead of prescribing drugs, where I was always ready with a prescription pad, now I'm prescribing a lifestyle, but it is a personalized lifestyle approach. I'm prescribing exercise. I'm prescribing stress management. Sometimes I'll tell my patients, just schedule a day where there is no schedule, where you can just be spontaneous. You can just call up a friend, go out for lunch. So you're not always a slave to your schedule, because we are so busy in our lives that we can't think of anything spontaneous to do. And that's almost like a treat to yourself. And your brain can actually get rewired when you do something like that. It's like rewarding yourself, giving yourself a little surprise gift. So the other thing is that we, other than using food as medicine, we use supplements that sometimes food is not enough. Our soil is depleted. We don't have enough minerals in our food and in our soil. Our water is chlorinated and fluorinated. And so we're not getting enough nutrients from the foods that we eat, even when we're trying to eat healthy. So sometimes we need a little extra support. So again, I love herbs and botanicals to support the body in what it may be missing or lacking. And then the goal is not to just take a bunch of supplements, but once you're able to absorb things better, to get it from your real nourishment from real food.
Actually, that's what you said. You need to absorb the food, because if you have gut issue, that's the first thing I always go with my fertility coaching. The first thing I go with the gut issue and GI food sensitivity. to see if they can actually absorb the nutrition or the supplement, because if they have this problem, they cannot improve their health. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know that you have a website. First, tell me about your website. I'm very excited about your books. You can
Yes.
talk about that.
Thank you. I'm at vitologywellness.com. And we also do functional medicine, but we also do IV therapies. We have a brick and mortar, but we do virtual care as well. We do ozone, we do neurofeedback and regenerative medicine, like platelet rich plasma. And I'm writing the book that's coming out, which is Stress Less, and my story about my journey to functional medicine, which is from survive to thrive. And my podcast is the Be Vital and Well Show, and where I talk about, like the Green Healing Show, a lot about wellness and health and biohacks and anti-aging recipes and things of that nature.
Great. But and everything is inside your website. They can find it there. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. Do you have any recommendation for this situation on COVID? How we can prevent um, getting as exposed to COVID, and how we can be more vital and stronger?
Oh, sure. There's so many things that you can do to help your immune system. And of course, do the things which are being recommended by the CDC, like the hand washing and sanitizing and masks and social distancing. But the things that have definitely been shown to help support the immune system: vitamin D, so get out in the
For
sun;
sure.
exercise, movement, things like vitamin C, your zinc has been shown to be really helpful. Melatonin is anti-inflammatory, not just for sleep, but in supporting your immune system. Quercetin, which comes from vegetables and fruits and onions and things, has been shown to be very beneficial. And then there are herbs like elderberry, echinacea, as well as astragalus and viragraphis, which are more like natural herbs that are antiviral. But even foods like garlic, which has something in it called allicin, has been shown to be highly beneficial. Turmeric, which has the active component, which
Yeah.
is curcumin, has been
Indian
shown.
use a lot of turmeric, and Iranian.
We do, we do.
Yeah.
We love our curries.
Yeah. I have two questions right now. First of all, with this inflammatory foods,
Mhm.
tell me about that. Like, which food exactly are inflammatory?
So, one of the most inflammatory foods for every age, whether it's a child, man, woman, or elderly, is refined sugars. And we have so much hidden sugars added in our foods. So, you really want to avoid those and read the labels. But if you eat natural sugars like fruits and vegetables, they're good. But again, it depends. If you're diabetic, you want to be extra careful. The others are gluten, and not because wheat is bad, but what's become of wheat now. It's highly hybridized, and it is the dwarf wheat, which our immune system is now recognizing as a Frankenstein food because it's highly sprayed with Roundup and things of that nature. And the third biggest one, I would say, is cow's milk dairy,
Yeah,
especially
that's
ultra.
what I say always in my shows.
Yes,
Yes,
especially they homogenize it, they ultra pasteurize it. So it's
yes,
no longer the same milk that maybe your grandmother grew up drinking from one
exactly.
cow on a farm or something like that.
So, interesting point about melatonin. I
Yes.
know for some of my fertility clients.
Hmm.
They say, I mean, I've heard that I shouldn't give them the pill because, I mean, the tablet.
Hmm.
Mostly melatonin comes from the light, right?
Yes. Yes. If you are exposed to morning sunlight and
Yes,
the sunset in the evening, because you are exposed to the full spectrum of the sun, it'll actually induce your own pineal gland, which sometimes is
exactly.
referred to as the third eye, which directly is behind the retina of your eye to produce natural melatonin, but in the day to produce your natural Prozac, which is your natural serotonin.
Yes, and the melatonin is really important for hormone balance, right? Because it also affects other hormones as well.
Exactly. And it is the opposite relationship to cortisol. If your stress is high and your cortisol is high, you know your melatonin is rock bottom, and then you're not sleeping through the night.
Exactly, exactly. That's the problem. I always tell my clients I go with their sleep. If they have some problem, then I know there is something wrong there.
Mhm.
And it's interesting, you know, about the herbs. How did you learn that?
Well, I did get a lot of training and I had a lot of great mentors to help me guide me through that. And of course, growing up in India, I was exposed to Eastern medicine and Ayurveda. So I like to combine those because then you get the best of both worlds.
Yes, beautiful. Because in Persian, we have like when you have a Persian food, everything is built for your health.
Hmm.
Like you eat something with pomegranate, then you add
Yes,
walnut, you
yes.
know, because pomegranate it's cold in nature, but then
Hmm.
you add walnut, then it's
It's warm.
warm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
so they can actually neutralize each other.
that's right.
That's the way. Like whatever you eat, even if you are eating cucumber, you should have something warm to neutralize cucumber.
Hmm. Yes, yeah. And
Beautiful.
whether it's ancient Chinese medicine or Indian or Mayan or Iranian, all cultures are kind of so similar in what they
Exactly.
teach.
The only thing with the Indian food, I cannot eat the spice because it's sometimes
Too
it's so hot.
spicy.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
food is great. It's look great, but maybe if it has a little bit less
less.
spice, I could eat.
Yeah, I love Iranian food.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love the
it's
saffron.
mild. It's so mild. We don't eat too much spice, so that's why everybody can eat.
That's right. And I love saffron. Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's a natural antidepressant.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. I always add it to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much, Farah. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I learned all the time when I talk to you and other medical doctors. You are great,
Thank you.
and your patients are so lucky to have you. Because yeah, these days functional medicine actually grow a lot, and
Yes,
it show itself in medical practices because they are complementary. I say
exactly. People are
medical
tired.
doctors,
Mhm.
exact medical really is really essential. You cannot limit it or you cannot remove it. Everybody need
Sure.
it, but you need your mind and body to cooperate,
Yes,
and you should have a great functional medicine expert to help you if you have any root cause issues, especially for chronic disease.
that's correct.
Yes,
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I
yes,
really enjoyed my time, and I have subscribed to your show and
thank
love all the
you.
guests that you have on your show.
Thank you so much, Farah. Thank you for being here.
See you.